So there have been rumors going around that we're supposed to be in a remake for Elder Scrolls for Oblivion. That's the prequel to the critically acclaimed Elder Scrolls 5 game, also known as Skyrim, which came out back in 2011. That game did like 60 million in sales from what I heard, and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion did like 9.5 million in sales, which is pretty good, but it pales in comparison to that of Skyrim. And and of course, these are just rumors. I don't think Beth Sheeta has went on record and confirmed this just yet. But I don't know. I read on like IGN that I guess there's supposed to be gameplay changes to this remake in relation to tweaks of like sneaking, blocking, archery, stamina, stuff like that, because it's supposed to add more life into the game. Because if you do a remastered version of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion from 2006, it's not going to hold up well in terms of gameplay. And if you're going to take a game from like the 90s or the 2000s and I guess remaster it or remake it, you have to do it in a way where it's something that the current audience of gamers can easily get into. Like if you're going to take an older RPG from back in the day and do a remake, you probably make it an action RPG in opposed to like a turn-based RPG or whatever. And even though like turn-based RPGs can be pretty cool if done the right way, action RPGs are the way to go for the most part. And and again, like with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion getting a remake, being a thing, I'm not too sure if too many people really care about Elder Scrolls 6 anymore because that was a game that was announced back in 2018 and that was like 6 years ago. And since then we haven't seen any gameplay footage or anything, no official reveal trailer or anything, at least not to my knowledge. And at this point, I have no idea when Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come out. Hopefully, it comes out before, PlayStation 6 comes out in the future. But at this point, like, no one really cares too much about Elder Scrolls 6. And I feel like this is just Beth Sheeta's way of giving the people something to kind of, snack on until they come out with Elder Scrolls 6 in the future. And when they do come out with Elder Scrolls 6, they better make it available for PS5 and for, Xbox Series X and for PC because I think it would be a costly mistake limiting it to just one console like the PlayStation 5 because I think, other gaming developers have released their games as PlayStation 5 exclusive titles and they regretted it because it didn't sell nearly as much as they wanted it to. But I mean, I don't think, Elder Scrolls is quite as popular as it used to be. I personally think that Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim was quite possibly the peak of the entire franchise in terms of popularity because that game came out back in 2011. So that was like 14 years ago or whatever. And and I do feel that I don't know. I do feel that it's going to be really tough to make a game that tops, Skyrim from 2011. I think it's going to be tough to make a game that sells as much as Skyrim did back in the day because it seems like gaming is not nearly as popular as it once was because games are not selling out as fast as they used to, and that's something that's kind of problematic in the gaming industry. And it's not just limited to one company or one particular game console. This is something that's all across the board, and I'm not exactly sure if that's going to change anytime soon. But I guess like the success of an Oblivion remake is something that really depends on whether or not Beth Sheeta can capture the attention of lapsed fans of the series because the series has kind of been, I don't know, I wouldn't say dead, but I don't know, like they haven't really done anything with it in quite some time. We haven't gotten a major installment within the Elder Scrolls series in over a decade. So it really depends on whether or not people are still interested in the series. And I think another challenge would be trying to reintroduce Elder Scrolls for Oblivion to a new audience of gamers because I think Elder Scrolls for Oblivion came out when the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 was like still a thing. So I think that was like 2 generations ago. So trying to reintroduce that game to the current generation and trying to, I guess, change the gameplay mechanics to a point where people can easily get into it is there are going to be challenges for Bethesda when developing this game. But aside from what I've told you guys and what's been reported online, I don't know too much more about the game. Hopefully, Bethesda will give us more news in regards to the Elder Scrolls 4 remake sometime in the near future.